This is my fakery. This is where the magic happens. This is my monster. And this is just Paul. So last week I gave you the secret on how to have your own business or work from home or do that side hustle or do that dream job after hours. And lucky us, we spun the wheel on a kind of related category, which was art and Etsy, which is one of the jobs that I do and one of the ways that I make my money, as well as making my art and making myself happy. But I was really excited to eventually make this particular video because so often on Facebook, social media, even talking to my own friends, I see a lot of complaints about how nobody supports the visual arts. Nobody buys from artists. Nobody values the prices that people put on work, and nobody brings it into their home. Basically, no one buys from your Etsy store. And I couldn't help but feel that those artists were missing a huge part of the business, which was business. I mean, it's one thing if your art's kind of bad. But it's another thing if your products are just missing the mark on why they are sellable or buyable. Some artists have a hard time connecting with an audience and finding their target market, and others just have trouble exposing their products to customers and telling the world what they have to offer. This video is for anybody who sells on Etsy or a similar shop, but it was mostly inspired by those 2D artists that are painters, illustrators, or graphic designers. The people spend hours making a picture that only exists on the internet. Here are 5 tips to help you sell more of your art. My number 1 tip, and one that's very important that a lot of people miss, is to make your art functional. Wall art is very seldom a necessity for a lot of customers. So if you're just selling your art as prints or original canvases, you might have a very small market to work with. I mean, how many things can you really hang on your wall? Don't look at my room. Trying to brainstorm about ways that you could translate your art into other more practical, multi-purpose products will give you a great advantage on those who are just selling their prints. You can make greeting or holiday cards, you can make magnets, stickers. When I did my monster series, I wanted to make something that was more of a toy, something that actually had a use to it than just to hang on the wall, because my monsters are kind of for kids in my opinion. They're kind of for like teenagers and kids, but kids aren't always putting an 8.5 by 11 piece of art up on their walls. So at the time I made it, adult coloring books were really in. And I made a product that was both really unique in itself and also really practical because you could actually do something with it. You could bring that on a card trip. You could give it as a gift. Under this tip, I also want you to be thinking of special occasions where you can market your product to a very particular time of year. For my donuts, I know that some of the biggest reasons that people buy my products is so that they could wear it at a birthday event or some kind of event that it either includes donuts, like the donut dashes that people have in the fall, or my number 1 holiday, which is, you guessed it, Halloween time. I sell half of my year's products, if not more than that, around Halloween time, October and September. So I know both to be stocked with product as well as be marketing to that specific crowd, people who are looking for costumes, looking for something to be, and I really put it out there that this is the store where you come for that kind of thing. My number 2 tip is to create a series. When you are creating an Etsy store, it's very advantageous to be creating a type of theme or a general ambiance, a consistency in your products and style. Not only does this bring familiarity when somebody sees your products, they recognize it as yours, but it gives that audience a full range and variety of different products that they can choose from that speak to them the most. And it will help you be remembered and recognized down the road. My number 3 tip for selling more of your art is to not be afraid of experimentation. Experimenting with your art, not with drugs. That's a whole other category in creativity. When your art is not selling, it only makes sense to start branching out and finding new things that people might like. And I'm not saying to not be true to your style and to your art form, but when you start to experience and explore different variations of what you want to do, it'll help you to eventually capture that attention that you're looking for. When I made my first batch of donut crowns, I only made 6 donut crowns. And as you see behind me, I have literally hundreds of products now. But I took some old craft supplies that I already had in my house, beads, paint, felt that was from like years before, and I made a much lesser version of the product that I make now. Under this tip of experimentation, also know that perfection is going to make you lose. This is a long debated argument, but in my opinion, it is much more valuable to put something out there, get feedback, and to keep making something better than to sit on a product and never put it out because you never think it's good enough. Doing and creating and presenting and getting feedback, I believe, is the best way to learn what is really wanted from you when you're trying to make art and you're trying to sell art. Even the idea of doing these donut crowns was an entirely huge experiment. I wasn't even making costume pieces or whatever you want to call these. I was just making 2D art. I wanted to make these donut crowns as an accessory to one of my paintings, actually. This donut cat adorable painting, which I do still sell, but the donut crowns have largely surpassed that. My number 4 tip is to consider customization. On Etsy, a huge part of the culture is to offer a customized product. That means that you have something in the store that can have additions added to it that can make it very personal and very precise to the customer before they buy. You're also learning what your customers in general are expecting from you. I can't tell you how many times I was getting the same kind of requests into my inbox and realized that certain color patterns, certain details were very in demand and I wasn't even making them. So I began to put those things on my shelves, and though I no longer do customized merchandise because I will be leaving a lot of my product behind in Pittsburgh when I move to California and my mom will simply be shipping these things out, I learned so much from people asking of me things that they wanted, and now I've stocked my store with the things that people requested most. And the number 5 tip that I want to give you that might be the thing you may or may not be missing is to embrace modern marketing. I know lots of artists, but one thing that I will say until I'm blue in the face is that you can be the most amazing, talented artist at what you do, but if nobody knows about it, it's practically useless. And unfortunately for a lot of artists, they know how to create and they know how to bring their art to life, but they don't know how to tell people about it, or they don't think that they need to. You know this video you're watching right now? Practically a giant commercial for my store, justpaulart.etsy.com. But also using social media like Instagram tagging and Facebook groups can actually help you to tell people about what you have to offer. I'm on a lot of groups that actually are for Etsy sellers and buyers, and though you may think that when you go there you're just jumping into a pool of people just trying to hawk their stuff, there's also a huge community of other artists that are looking to buy something for themselves that they can't make. And there are also groups that are dedicated to unique gifts like mine, holiday gift ideas, shout out! And you can make customers out of the people that you know online. And now it's time to spin the wheel! Actually, we are not going to spin the wheel this week. As some of you might know, this is a huge week for me. Probably one of the biggest weeks in my life. But I will soon be on the road to moving across the country and eventually living in California. My show will now be from California from now on. And I'm going to, for the first time in my life, really full stop go after my dream of being an actor and filmmaker. So I will be choosing the only main category that has not been done on this show yet, and that is vlog. I'm going to hopefully take you on a cross-country tour vlog of me ending up there. We are driving. I'm driving with a 3-legged cat and my new roommates and a lizard. I guess they're all my roommates really now. And I want to bring you along with me. I don't know if I'll be posting exactly next Monday or the Monday after that because there is a lot of life that I have to kind of wrap up and organize and settle into right now. Literally, this is the hardest thing I've probably ever done, and I have no idea how everything's gonna go. But I do appreciate you guys being there along for the ride, and I hope you enjoy the future of this series. I'm that cliche YouTuber who moves to California. Except I'm actually moving there for movies. I don't know why the other YouTubers do that. I still don't get it. But I'm even the bigger cliche of, you know, young starlet actress, you know, trying to become a movie star. So I guess I'm just obvious all around. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Pass this off to other artists that have the same complaints, or just post on your Facebook if you are amongst people who are making and trying to sell their art, their 2D art, their paintings, their films, their music. These could apply. You just have to kind of related to your specific art form. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you